Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, coming to you from the 2024 Moontower Comedy Festival. My sometime co-hosts, Ms. Purrington and Mookie, are resting at home. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, we bring you articles, album reviews, our advice column, a festivals page, and if you're interested, an FPIA page with a history of the contest. And you can find all of my Austin Chronicle articles on the website as well. And you'll find all of the best comedy shows on our events page for Austin, Houston, and DFW. If you're a comic in those cities and want your show featured on the calendar, click Submit a Show at the top of our homepage to complete the short survey. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Comedy Wham. Looking for ways to support all these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Search for Comedy Wham on Patreon and check out our subscriber perks. And we're also offering promo boosts for your listed events on Instagram. Now let's get back to our podcast. Launched in 2016, the Podcast Project brings you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and we usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the comedy scene as fascinating off stage as it is on stage. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Yeah, now we have to actually reenact you stealing my watch.
That's racist. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
And take that sombrero off.
No. Would you like a quesadilla?
No. I mean, yes, but still. I'm going to eat this angrily.
Today we are recording live on location at the Driscoll Hotel. He was a 2017, remember this? New Faces pick at Just for Laughs. What's that, you may be asking? R.I.P. JFL. He's been a writer for the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and I was going to add hashtag RIP Jimmy Fallon, but I thought that would not be the right messaging. He had one of my favorite cameos and a returning bit on season 2 of the hit Hulu show This Fool as the innocent Julio Tambien, hashtag RIP to This Fool. His stand-up set on Jimmy Kimmel Live, that's not dead. It's still one of the best late-night sets ever. He performed at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival last year, and he is fresh off of recording his debut special based on his comeback apology tour. I have it spelled tour with an H for some reason. And, and this is his 4th time sitting down with us. Look, this is the All Repeats Moontower series. And now Comedy Wham presents our returning guest, Martin Urbano.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to flash back to our conversation last year.
Whoa.
You were so nervous about Edinburgh.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy to think about.
How did that go?
It was good.
Yeah. Just good?
It was good. I mean, it is what it was, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I knew it was like a marathon, you know, where you're just like kind of like training for it psychologically, not physically so much, but it's like it's gonna, you know, takes its own version of a toll. Yeah, but it was good. So for the ups and the downs and it all evened out, I got everything I wanted to out of it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. How many days of shows did you end up doing?
It was basically every night, an hour every night for a month, except for, like, it started on the 2nd and it ended on, like, the 28th, and then we took one day. So I think it ended up being, like, 23 shows I did there. Yeah.
Wow. And just out of curiosity, because you're also, I didn't mention it in the intro, but you're also, you participated, I don't know if that's the right word, you're part of Stamptown.
Yes.
And they were over there too.
Yeah, they go every year. They've been going for years, and they're producing my thing. Yeah.
And did you participate in there, or did you just not have time? Okay.
No, yeah, I did all the other Stamptown shows.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Doing all right. How are you?
Can I have a club soda with lime?
Can I also get a coffee but black? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just having soft drinks or close it out?
Yeah, it's just going to be soft drinks, but I'll be here for a while. So you can.
I'm wondering if you want to leave it open or not.
Yeah, I'll leave it open.
Okay, I'll be back.
Thank you.
I'm not sound editing any of that out.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you did get to do some Stamptown with them.
Yeah. I think pretty much every Stamptown show I was also on it.
Yeah. They're the same recurring character, inspired by me, I might add.
yeah. The comedy reviewer bit. Yeah, that was a pitch by one of the business casual guys, Jeremy Elder. Him and Zach pitched it to me. What if I live reviewed the show? I was like, okay. Many years ago, I was like, okay, let's try, see if it works. Might not. And it ended up being a hit. And so I just do that all the time now.
What's interesting about you as that reviewer is, like, your comedy is so well thought out. Don't laugh. and you figure out like a good twist and turn to your comedy, that seeing you improvise those reviews, because you really are like picking up new things. And maybe maybe inside baseball you kind of know the rough outline of what's going to happen that night ahead of time, but it is kind of fun to watch you like just improvise the reviews.
To mixed results.
Yeah, to mixed results. Does anybody ever boo you for your review?
No. I wonder if at one point I tried to. No, but people seem to like it. They kind of get what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to turn this into a Stamptown conversation. I will get back to Martin,
sure.
But I have watched Stamptown since it did the Hideout Theater 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was just Zach and the business casual guys.
Whoa.
And then
4 years
every
ago?
year, 4 or 3. And
2021 or?
Must have been like the fall
Yeah.
of 21.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, I've seen them 4 times now, because I know.
So
I've
it wasn't
seen them 3
Moontower.
times.
It wasn't
No, it was Moontower.
Oh, it was.
But
okay.
it was the first time on Moontower.
Right.
So it was very small scale.
Yeah.
And then every year, it seems like the Pied Piper. Like Zach seems like the Pied Piper, just bringing new people along the way.
That's accurate.
So I'm going to pitch an idea. I think you should recruit somebody to be the reviewer of the reviewer.
This bit was done.
Was it?
Yeah. At Soho Theater in January, they had this guy named Steve Bennett, who writes for Chortle, which is a big magazine over there. They had him review my review. It didn't go great. That actually did not go well. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I think there's a world where we try again on that.
Well, if he's not a comic, he probably doesn't have the right.
He was nervous. He was nervous. We should have been writing his jokes for him.
Yeah.
I forget who wrote the jokes. I think somebody else did, and then he did too. It was.
Yeah.
I wish I was more involved in the planning of that, but you live and you learn.
Yeah.
It's also like I'll like do the reviewer bit on it's like this is a 4-show run. We do a lot of these like runs. So for show number 1 is a different vibe than the final show, where we've all kind of like run through it a couple times. It's like, okay, now I know more or less the beats. Show number 1 is just figuring out what the crowds are going to be like. I learned immediately. I think my like opening joke on Wednesday was like one that did fine, and I was like, oh, okay, that was too inside. Oh, I referenced that Just for Laughs used to own this festival. Nobody laughed at all. I'm like, okay, nobody really knows that. Nobody knows that. Yeah, it's too inside. That's in Edinburgh it probably would have got people who are a little bit more inside there, and here it's like, no, this is more of a general public. Okay, cool, turn that down a little bit. So yeah, maybe on something like the final of 4 shows, meta reviewer reviewing the reviewer is could fly. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So the primary function of you being back here at Moontower was you got to record your first special.
That's right.
Is it called the Comeback Apology Special?
It'll be Apology Comeback Special.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. How did you? I was talking to Lisa last night, and she, or maybe I was talking to you. I must have been talking to you. You being Laura, she's guest watching and stalking us. You were nervous leading up to it, but then now, since a few days have passed, because you recorded about 6 days, that's the math, ago, and now you're a little more like, okay, yeah, it went fine.
Yes.
But how do you really feel?
I mean, it went all right. It was good.
Yeah.
and in the edit it's going to be fine. Like, it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating to build something so up in your head on how you think it should go, and to come from Melbourne, which by the end of that fest I was like selling my shows pretty good, and the reactions were just like, this is the exact vibe that I want, you know, laughing this much at this joke, laughing at these bits, you know, just building in this way. It's a very specific rhythm that, and then doing New York, it's like, okay, and then readjusting to an American rhythm with New York crowd, with they're also hip to it though, and then this crowd kind of felt a little bit like there are people who don't know who I am at all. There are people who don't like what I'm doing, and this is like a complete shift, and this is the one I'm taping, and like my family's here. It was psychologically, show number 1 was really tough for me. Show number 2, I was looser. I was like, I have to get it now. I kind of work good under that kind of pressure of like, well, there's no other choice. I have to do well right now. I have to make this fun for me. And then that kind of helped. And late show, it's like, those are really people who are like more into what I'm doing, you know, and it's also later, they're a little bit drunker. Maybe that helps. I don't know. But yeah, second show was solid. And that will be the one we're using. And then pick up shots on show number 1.
I made this mental observation that you really have to know who you are as a comic to understand your comedy, but you're not glorifying some of the subject matter that you talk about. And I was at that first show. You probably noticed somebody in the first row that was just stone cold not having your material.
She hated me.
She hated you.
Hated me.
I was so pissed off. I'm like, you signed a fucking release.
Yeah.
You knew that this was a big deal.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do your homework and figure out who you were going to see?
It was frustrating for and it was like, and it was her and her boyfriend and apparently like the couple next to them too were like, they were all friends, and it didn't help that a lot of other people were also not super into it. It wasn't like, oh, everybody's into it except these people. It's like people were as much as they could be. I don't know, but yeah, that was psychologically really tough to deal with, like when I'm trying to perform and get this thing down, and like try to be like, oh, so much of it comes from me being silly, and then I make myself laugh, and then the audience is like, oh, he's laughing, that means, you know, so I couldn't get to that point, but on the second show I was. But yeah, that was pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
Just to not recognize what I'm doing as comedy at all just feels so like disingenuous almost, like to not even try. Like I've seen, trust me, I hate so much comedy. I think it's all so boring. My fans are here. Hold on, I gotta go. But they seem fun. They should have been at that taping.
Yeah, they should have been at your taping for sure. They get it.
I saw some guys sitting in the lobby wearing suits. I was just like, is this how fancy this place is? No, they're going to a wedding. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I was just like, just to see a guy in a blue tuxedo just like reading a book. I'm like, is this real life? For anybody listening, we're at a Chipotle.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. It just feels like that was coming out of a place of anger.
Yeah.
As opposed to not enjoying something on a way of like, oh, this isn't my sense of humor at all, which is the most frustrating thing. Whatever, I don't know. It's the nature of what I do. Yeah, and then the second one was good, and I think it'll be, as a filmed thing, so much better than a thing that I have to go and perform live and look at the faces of people. I'm like, you're just not getting it. I can't. The whole game is that I can't tell you I'm joking. You just have to figure it out through context clues. Critical thinking a little bit, and if you don't want to do that, then fine. I don't have to, now that it's a filmed thing, I don't ever have to see your face hate it. You can just go and be mad, like, that's fine by me. Whatever.
Does that kind of thing, like, because you probably do get that every once in a while, where somebody just, they think it's, standard stand-up comedy show. They have certain expectations, and they come in, and you do require critical thinking skills.
I don't think that much. I truly am like, I feel like I'm a cartoon character up there sometimes. I'm like going like, what? Sticking my tongue out, making eye faces, like, making silly voices, and they're just like, he's being real. It's like, dude, no, how? I'm being Bugs Bunny up here, but. It is. I'm playing with fire, so I can't help if some people are like, I don't like fire. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's fair.
Does anybody ever come up to you after that's from that kind of mindset?
Well, I mentioned it in the show, but this lady came up to me one time at Union Hall in New York, and she was like drunk, and she was like, so what are the allegations against you? I tried Googling your name allegations. What are the allegations? What are the allegations? Like, truly, she thought that there was something out there that she couldn't find. She just wanted to know what specifically it was. And that was like an earlier version of the show also, but yeah, that does happen. In Edinburgh, there was a lady in the, I think she was in the front row also. Edinburgh would happen like every couple shows, not every other show, but like every other show. I could spot a young woman in the crowd hate it, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But also, I get it, but also, I'm sad about that.
Yeah.
To peek behind the curtain, I don't like that. That's not what I want. And she was like, it was kind of like also not the best show, but it was going fine. And then at a certain point, I'm doing the Mad Libs bit, and I'm asking for suggestions. So plural noun, I forget. Like it was like pulling teeth for them to shout stuff out, because it's also like Edinburgh's a more theater-y crowd, I think, at least for my shows and the location I was at, Pleasance. So they were like not willing to just shout out, cars or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so adjective, I'm like, can I get an adjective? Nobody says anything for like a beat or two, and then this lady just says, angry. Just like that. Angry. After just staring daggers at, because there's something like the lady at the show taping number 1, stone face. That's the accurate thing. Yeah. Stone face. This, like, I'm just sitting here. I'm sitting here and I'm going to get through this. Mm-hmm. This other lady was like this lady never was trying to attack me with her eyes, which is, she thought, I don't know. Anyway, but so I just took that in stride. I was like, I'm not going to read into that at all, and then just kind of kept going and like made a couple jokes about like at a point where I'm like, I'm trying to get some constructive criticism for my show. For the next time you see it, I pointed at her. Next time you come back and see it, because I know you loved it. Kind of making jokes like that.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. Ooh.
Thank you. Oh, thanks.
Sweet. Oh, thank you.
Clinking for sound effects. Mm-hmm. You like that?
I needed that water. I didn't realize.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, good experience, and you're already writing new stuff, because it sounds like you are treating the recording as your retiring material.
Fully, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're done.
All that stuff.
Done with the Mad Libs?
Done with the Mad Libs. Well, I was done with the Mad Libs after the Kimmel set. I retired all of that material after the Kimmel set.
Yeah.
But the ones I brought back were my opening line. When I say you say poor.
Yeah.
Because that one, I don't think it was good on the taping on Kimmel. The story behind that is everybody told me I was going to bomb on Kimmel. Everybody was like, you're going to bomb, it's going to be fine, they're going to edit it in post, just act like you're not bombing. I'm like, okay. I asked like a comedian who did it, and he's like, you're going to bomb, it's going to be fine. I'm like, okay. And I talked to the producer before the show, and the person who booked me, and she was like, you're probably going to do bad, and it's going to be fine, just like act like it's, we're still figuring it out. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, do you want to meet Jimmy right before? I'm like, sure. So I meet Jimmy Kimmel, and he's like, hey, and it's okay if you do bad. I'm like, wait, why is everyone telling me I'm going to bomb? I'm also like, kind of remembering as best I can, but that was the vibe of how it felt going into it. So I'm like, okay, just go, bring lots of energy, try my best. I know the set. I'm going to act like I'm doing well no matter what. Psychologically, I'm ready for that. So I just rush in, and they're like, make some noise for Martin Urbano. And then the audience is still going crazy as I go in, and I'm like, when I say that, they're like clapping and cheering over my first lines, because I'm just so they're gonna get completely silent. I just need to start going. The audience there at the show didn't really hear that joke anyway. So my rationale is I also want that to be taped in a good way that you can very clear. And it's such a strong opening line, it really helps my entire set. And the Mad Libs bit came when I was working on that pedophile chunk, but I couldn't I needed a little something to get into it, and that was sort of like when I realized, oh, if I do the Mad Libs bit again, that's a great jumping off point for getting into this whole thing. Because it's also true, like that is where it started. But
so are you distancing yourself from difficult subject matter?
We'll see. I think my next hour I have like some lofty ideas for it, but one of the ideas is that I'm going to just focus on money. Money, something that's easily marketable. I did my little art statement piece. From now on, it's just about money. Success. Doing what art out the window. I'm no longer invested in the idea of art.
It makes sense.
I was an artist, now I'm an entertainer. I'm just trying to come up with the next lip sync battle.
Well, is it because you got a taste of success with This Fool?
This Fool was great. Yeah, I want to do more acting stuff for sure.
You know, when I asked you, so last year when we recorded in April, I think you had maybe already started taping the second season, or maybe you already had, but you couldn't share anything.
Yeah, that was April. I think I filmed in early April.
Okay.
Maybe,
right. And when that episode came out with you back, and then, basically a full episode and a half, just dedicated to Julio, and I don't even know her name.
Maggie.
That was
Michelle.
I was just screaming at how hilarious it was, and just
it's so good, right?
Yeah. And I was very upset that they canceled. I mean, the dumbest decision.
It's insane. I think there's like more powers at play than the show wasn't getting good enough ratings. Because honestly, like I think it was like I don't know the numbers, but just as far as the amount of messages that I got, the amount of times I've been recognized on the streets, like after shows, like people coming to shows from that. Anytime I post a clip and it like goes viral, it's just like hundreds of comments of like, or maybe dozens of comments of just like, Julio Tomé, Julio Tomé. It's like I was like, whoa, I'm pretty impressed by the reach of this show. A show that like all of my comedy nerds love and my family loves, and they're all like, we love it equally. That's incredible to get a show like that, but. All these streaming wars and we'll see. Do they want to buy stand-up specials? I don't know.
That's true.
I think there's some sort of regime shift happening or something. Like they're getting ready for this like Disney merger or whatever. Disney bought them or something. I don't know. It's all the death of art, which is maybe what I'll call my next hour.
So, are there any opportunities that you've been able to go after in the acting realm, or is this just something that you've been so focused on the special? Obviously, that's
truly,
hard to move into non-stop auditions and whatever.
And I think now's the time. Now that I'm like, okay, stand-up is the tour is done. Finally, I've just been kind of on the road, pretty non-stop for about a year. I'm excited to be back in New York. Write some scripts, get some samples out there, because I want to do more writing too, and acting stuff. Do the auditions that I'd be like, I'm too tired, I'm on the road, like I need to, refocus back up and do that. I just did one right before I left to come here, actually, and then I got one that I think is due on Monday, and I'm like, I used to just be like, I can't do this, I'm busy. Now I'm like, time to try, time to try my best.
So writing for
too.
TV and movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I want to try. I write some scripts, and so I have like my last sample is like years old, and it was like too meta or whatever, like too convoluted for just an easy pitch to like, hey, hire me on the show. This was me like, no, this would be interesting to watch as a television show, I think. But also, I don't know how to write for TV yet, so let me go back to now I'm going to go back to the basics a little bit and be like, let me just try to write a normal script, and then that'll probably be even weird in and of itself. So I don't need to add extra layers of weirdness. A multicam with the audience who's also a character. It's like that's a little bit tough of a pitch, I think. Or maybe I just need to write it better. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Practice.
Yeah.
Rome was not built in a day, they say.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now I can focus on it.
Yeah. Cool. And you like New York?
Love New York.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to go to LA for work, but I love New York.
Yeah. Well, some people, they're in Austin and they go to both.
I love New York so much.
I get it. Fine.
I really love
it.
it.
That much.
And it's nice to visit. You have ladies in the front row hating me.
Yeah.
It's like it's good vibes here.
That is good.
I really like visiting, and I got families in Texas that I visit constantly. But I love New York. I love it so much.
It's so great.
Yeah.
What is it about New York? I can tolerate New York person. What is it for you that you love about it?
The resting heart rate there is high. If that makes sense. Like everybody is. I love living in the city also, and if I were to move to like Brooklyn, it would be in a busy area because I just like the energy of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, I'm sure, my stand-up brain of I'm getting back at like my work is at 8. My work starts at sometimes 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes working till 2 a.m. or whatever. So I like to, after that, even when I'm getting back to the apartment at 3 a.m., people are still out and about and doing stuff because stuff doesn't close till 4. And I like, waking up and going out and I'm like, okay, the energy's in the air. I like all that. And for some people, they hate it. They're like, it's so loud, it's so busy. I'm like, oh, I like that though. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, those are pretty much the highlights of the stuff that I wanted to find out about. What else would you like to talk about?
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah? What's been going on?
Well, I'm writing for the Austin Chronicle.
That's right, yeah. How's that been going?
Cool.
Nice.
This is my 3rd year.
Exciting.
They had some staffing, print. It's a tough industry.
Sure, yeah.
They had some big changes at the beginning of the year, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to cover the Austin scene like I have been with really long pieces. Mm-hmm. But it's not been too bad, actually. I was able to write for the festival, Moontower Festival, and then I wrote for another festival that happened in the beginning part of the year of April.
Cool. What festival?
It's called Lysistrata Comedy Festival. It's an all-female and non-binary festival.
Oh.
It's really cool.
Who books that? How do I get on that?
It is... Well, I know the people inside, so I could get you booked.
Okay, great. I want an all-female and non-binary and Martin Urbano festival. That would be awesome.
I can make it happen. Look, they like me. It's a small enough festival that we sponsor it, which is basically we fund water bottles and we give out notebooks.
Nice.
Oh, and I do a lot of live podcasts there, so that's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we just
what?
We'll get you on.
Yeah. Get me on. I'll do it. If you're down to flush the whole idea of it down the toilet, I'm so down.
Patriarchy. I know you're all about the patriarchy, Martin.
Yeah. Again, all about money now.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to pay you all that well.
I'm done. No, but it's good. It generates controversy. That's what's good. I'm trying to court controversy. Yeah. I'm trying to say things on podcasts so that if I get an opportunity later, I get fired from that for the thing I said on the podcast.
God, yes.
Then I can leverage that. Headline shit.
You should re-listen to all of our episodes.
What was I saying?
And then you were a guest on Radio Tatas.
What did I say on that?
Okay.
Hey, well, maybe we gotta. You know what? No, it's fine. It'll be good. It'll be good for me.
I think it's been done.
Yeah. It's just old hat.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's me. I'm about to be an empty nester, so that's...
Oh,
nice. We'll see what happens with Comedy Wham after that.
In what way?
More free time and just able to not be tethered to the house and running to swim meet after swim meet or whatever.
That's exciting.
So, yeah.
Oh,
being able to sleep in.
Yeah. I get that.
Oh my God, this festival is so long.
Yeah. I know, right? This year feels longer than last year. I don't know what it is in the air, but
well, there's so many more people and so many more shows and more venues. Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Interesting.
They don't really raise it.
All right, well then I guess we're done.
All right.
Now, is there anything else you want to plug? What's the timing, do you think, on your special?
That could be any amount of time. I have no idea.
Because you're going to try to shop it.
We're going to try to shop it around, and then if not, 800 Pound Gorilla has their own pipeline for releasing things. So I don't know how any of it really works.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I was talking with the director, and we're going to set up some meetings and stuff starting on Monday. But editing should take about a month or two, and then see what happens.
Yeah. I know you said it early on, but I 100% agree that on video, what you did is going to be great as a televised thing.
I think it'll be good, and it's almost probably better for the piece itself for it to not be the most, like, the audience is full of comedians who get it. Mm-hmm. It should be like a mix of people who one of the producers, one of the people who works for 800 Pound Gorilla, the production company doing it, was like sitting in the crowd for the second show, and apparently and I kind of saw this older lady who was maybe like a little bit offended at first, and then as the show went on started to understand what I was doing, and was like in a very lighthearted way, in a very good way of just like during like the Me Too stuff, just like, oh, that's not right, but like laughing too, and it's like, yes, that is what I want. The sort of build that you're like, you're getting it, and even if it's not your exact sensibility, you like pieces of it and like are getting what's going on. I think it'll look good.
Yeah, for sure.
See what happens.
Okay, so for the last 3 times we've chatted, we've talked about my one-word questions.
Yes.
Do you want to do a rapid fire again?
Yeah.
Do you want to
what
revisit any of them?
I want to revisit them. Yeah, I want to know.
All of them?
Right? That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is one word to describe your past, and then one word to describe your future. The first time we talked, your past was comedy. Your future was death and life. For the
dramatic.
Yeah. And then the second time we
kid.
talked, which was we visited you in New York. Your past was hilarious. And then your future was fame and death. So there's a bit of a theme going on here. But then last year, we kept your past at hilarious, and your future was unwritten, uncertain, but hopeful. So this was like, it felt like a pivot in the Martin Urbano, philosophy of life. We dumped death.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm never going to die now. I've decided I'm never going to die, actually.
I think that's a good decision. All right, so let's do 2024 edition of your one word to describe your past and future.
Past? Let's keep it hilarious.
Okay.
It's always hilarious to hear those. And future, money.
Of course.
Money, success, fortune, fame.
I'm just keeping it at money. I can't write that fast.
Money or success?
Money or success.
And.
Okay.
Money and success. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Money Martin. There we go. All right. Well, that is the wrap on Comedy Wham Presents Martin Urbano Volume 4. Can you believe that? Wow.
Crazy.
Tell us where we can find you on social media and promote your upcoming projects, Martin.
At Martin-Urbano on Venmo. Again, all
send
about
him
money.
all the money.
All
Send
about
him
money.
All the money.
At Martin Urbano Jr. on Instagram. That's when I use the most. And I have a TikTok that I need to reactivate. I don't have the password for it. Twitter. Is Twitter still a thing? People still using it?
Some people do. I'm shocked that they do.
Yeah.
But it's X.
Yeah, I feel like I just have only been losing followers over the past couple of years, but at Martin Urbano. I'm going to start tweeting some crazy shit to really get that algorithm picking me back up. I'm going to subscribe to Twitter Blue. I'm going to do it all.
Okay. And projects? Buy his special.
Somebody
network
out
executive
there.
here is listening to this podcast, and to them we say, buy Martin's special. He needs money.
Yes.
He's got to pay New York rent.
I mean, truly. Don't get me started.
All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning and revisiting with Martin and love how much of a comedic genius that you've heard today, as much as I have, and just watching him, evolve from the Austin comic throwing out little Parker Posey pictures at a small comedy show to today. This has been Comedy Wham Presents Martin Urbano. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.